Here we are, folks. Plymouth docks, ready to board the ferry to Santander for our Picos trip. Although our sailing wasn't till late afternoon, we decided we'd spend a night in Plymouth anyway at the Jury's Inn Hotel, and then spend the morning and afternoon looking around the sights of Plymouth. Sadly, the weather was pretty poor, so frankly we didn't get to see much of it at all. And we were just hoping that the weather would improve so we'd have a smooth crossing across the Bay of Biscay. Here we are, folks. Plymouth docks, ready to board the ferry to Santander for our Picos trip. Let's hope the weather is going to improve because it's been blowing a gale and raining. So we're hoping for some good weather. But most importantly, a smooth crossing. So we'll see. The weather in the Bay of Biscay is notoriously unpredictable and quite often very rough. And with a 23 to 24 hour crossing, it can be very unpleasant if you don't travel well. So I invested in some travel sickness tablets and some of these wristbands that press on the acupressure points. Apparently helps you stave off seasickness. Anyway, we'd certainly find out later on. If you've never done the Plymouth Santander crossing on the Pont of Ven ferry, it is a massive ship. It carries over 2,000 people and often several hundred bikes. But they're very professional and they really cram you in, so it's not a lot of space to manoeuvre. However, the boarding went smoothly and we're just hoping the crossing was going to be equally smooth. And unlike a lot of the other ferry crossings, you don't even have to strap your bike down, it's all done for you. Having dumped a gear in a cabin, it was time to explore the ship. And no matter how many times I've been abroad on a ferry with the bikes, I still get that sense of excitement and anticipation. It was time to leave, but with the amount of vehicles still to be loaded, it was clear that we were going to have a delayed departure, which of course would mean a delay getting into Santander and means less time to get to our hotel before it started to get dark. So I personally was eager to cast off straight away. Here we are, folks, in our cabin on the Pont of Ven ferry to Santander. We've just set sail, it's about 10 to 5, and this is a very bijou little place. You probably could string a cat, but only just. But it's not too bad. We'll show you what it looks like when we get the beds out later on. That's Sue sitting on one of her beds, and this is, in fact, let's get it out now so we can show you. There we go.
It's alright, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a nice window.
Yeah. TV, very functional, and a sea view.
Decent sized window.
Yeah. So we'll go and check out the food later on. Let's be honest, the beds aren't the most comfortable, especially if you're used to a double. This is the bars. IPA? What kind of IPA?
They have
Talk me through it.
Lagunitas. Who's going?
Starting as me to go on. Look, we just got on board. I can't see the time. The stormy weather continued for several hours and we went to bed with the ferry rocking and rolling slightly. But surprisingly, had a reasonable sleep. The drugs must have worked. Because of the poor weather and also the fact that the Pont de Ven has now been operating for several months on only 3 engines, we arrived about 45 minutes later than we anticipated. But luckily I'd planned it so our first stop in Potes was only about an hour and a half from Santander, and I felt sure we were going to get there in good time before the sun went down. And this is why you come to Spain at this time of the year. So from the rain and the damp and the cold of England, we rode off the ferry into the beautiful sunshine and 25 degrees. And fingers crossed, we're hoping it was going to continue like that for the next couple of weeks. Our first stop for the night was the little town of Potes in the heart of the Picos de Europa, about an hour and a half from Santander. Luckily, I planned a short hop because we arrived late and I wanted to get there in good time. So we decided we would hit the A roads for the first part before we get onto the beautiful N621 that took us deep into the Picos. That's passport control done with, pretty smooth. Now let's get out of Santander. The N621 is just a fantastic biking road and takes you right down into Potes. We checked in, showered and went exploring the delights of Potes. Because of its location, it's often referred to as the gateway to the peaks. And the old town is full of medieval architecture with a beautiful river running through it. It's got a population of about 1,300. Well folks, here we are, made it to Picos de Europa. We're in this little town called Potes, up in the mountains. We arrived yesterday afternoon after a late ferry in, and we're staying in the Hotel Valdecoro. Today we're heading off to Cangas de Onís via Riaño. But first of all, let's check out the hotel we stayed in last night. A lovely room, actually. Nice shower, bathroom. Very clean, plenty of space. What do you think?
It's great then, yeah. Lovely, spacious, lots of places to put stuff, big wardrobe to hang kit in.
One major drawback, since it was 28 degrees yesterday, and this is the only air conditioning, is this, opening the window, which means you get all the noise from the road. Yes, big oversight on the hotel front. Lack of air conditioning. Other than that, really nice place. Our route today was going to take us further down the N621 for a coffee stop at the little town of Riaño before heading up the even more amazing N625 to Cangas de Onís. What could be better? Beautiful sweeping roads, blue skies, fantastic. Viva España. The N621 took us past the Deer Pass with a very famous statue of the deer, where lots of bikers stop to look at the view. Riaño is a tiny little town of about 474 residents, and the approach road was so stunning and beautiful that we actually missed the turn off for the town itself and ended up having to do a U-turn, having gone through a tunnel. Just arrived in Riaño for a pit stop on the way to Cangas to Onís, and it's a tiny little place. There's probably about 500 people live here. And just as we arrived, and there was no other bikers here, a whole crowd of them came at the same time. See, the parked here. About 30 bikers arrived. A coffee and a tostada later, it was time to hit the road. Cangas de Onís is a little town of just over 6,000 people. The main feature of the town, the main sight to see, is an original Roman bridge spanning the River Sella, beneath which hangs a replica of a Victorian cross for some reason. Well folks, day 2 of our Picos road trip, and we arrive in Cangas de Onís, and we're staying in the Hotel Granda. Hotel Granda. This is a very pleasant one. I'll show you around the room later on. Bike secure. And we're just about to head off into town, find something to eat and to grab a beer. So here we are in Cangas de Onís, and this is a Roman bridge, Ponte Romano, still standing. We stayed last night, Hotel Granda. Apparently 4-star. That's it. But very pleasant. 200 metres walk from the Roman bridge. So let's go and check out our room and see what's all right. And here we are. Quite a decent bathroom. Kind of wet area, lovely big bed, plenty of space to store our gear, and even got air conditioning, which is perfect. So all in all, what do you reckon? Good hotel?
Yeah, decent hotel, nice location, just far enough out of town to give you a bit of a walk in to find some dinner and drinks at night time. has air conditioning, a big plus after last night.
Yeah.
It only does breakfast here, it doesn't do any dinner.
So, which is good, so you have to go out anyway to the local town and check out the tapas bars, which is what we did last night.
Which is only to find it, by the way, that people eat late here.
Yeah, so if you rock up at 6 o'clock like we did, then you've got 2 hours wait, 2 hours expensive drinking time before you can get some food down here. So bear that in mind if you're coming to Cangas de Onís. So the key point to remember, folks, is that if you're in Spain, people tend to eat after 8 o'clock. So if you are in a habit, like we are, of eating fairly early, then you're going to have to change your habits a little bit and go out a bit later. After a long siesta, they don't come out until 8 o'clock. Some restaurants don't even open until 9 o'clock. Morning, folks. Welcome to day 3, the official day 3 of our Picos de Europa trip. We're just about to leave the Hotel Grande at Cangas de Onís, and you can see the weather is a bit cloudy. Yesterday was beautiful. I think where we're heading is going to be warmer. We're going south to a place called Astorga. But first, we're going to get some petrol, and then we're going to head off down the N634. So we'll check in later.